Hello to you, I do hope you're well. Welcome back to my teaching update channel. I just thought I would sit down and film a very quick video because today is the last day before the February half-term holiday, which means I am now halfway through my first year as a head of year, which is actually really strange to say because on the one hand, it has gone so quickly and I can't believe we're already halfway through the year. But on the other hand, I feel like I've been doing the job for years. So, it's quite a strange one to think about actually. But what I do know for certain is I have absolutely loved it and it has been an absolute privilege. I genuinely wake up every morning and I am excited to go to work and I absolutely love the job that I am doing. I cannot imagine myself doing anything else because it is so rewarding, it is so fulfilling, and as I say, it really does feel like such a privilege. Now, that's not to say it's not absolutely exhausting, and some days I do get home and it's 6 o'clock and I am ready for bed. However, it is so rewarding and I just absolutely love the job. And so I thought I would sit down today and just quickly reflect on the past few months and talk about what I've enjoyed and what I've learned from being in this role. Now, I can't even speak today, do excuse me. This is how tired I am at the end of this half term. I am not just being a head of year. Obviously, this is a role where you are still teaching as well. So I'm continuing to teach my subject, religion, philosophy and ethics, and I'm absolutely loving that. And then, as I say, I am also now in the role of head of year. I am head of year 8, and one of the brilliant things about taking on this role at my school is that I will be attached to my year group. So I will then follow them up through to year 9, year 10 and year 11. And I think that actually is one of the best things about this role because I, feel like I can now take them on a journey, not only through education, but also to then set them up for life. I am absolutely determined that my students will become the very best cohort in the country, that they will fulfill their full potentials and then go on to live really happy, successful and really positive lives where they can become their best, they can achieve great things, and they can make a really positive contribution to the common good of society. And so that is why I'm really clear with my year group that we have high expectations of them because we have high aspirations for them. I already see in my year group so much potential. I want my students to be going on to the top universities, to be going on to amazing careers, and to be achieving really great things. Not only when they're in year 11 and year 13, but also in their lives as a whole. So, I really do feel passionate about that in terms of motivating them, inspiring them, and setting those high standards for them so that they can become their best, they can make the maximum progress possible, and they can fulfill their full potentials. And the way that I've been doing this, along with my brilliant pastoral team and of course the tutor team, is by using the mantra that greatness is a choice. So all of my students, all 200 students in my year group, know that I expect them to choose greatness in everything that they do. And I am very clear about what choosing greatness entails. I am a big believer in making the implicit explicit. It is so important that we are always being explicit with our students about what we expect from them and why we expect that. So I use an acronym that all of my students know, which is that they should choose greatness. And to be great means 5 things. So it means G, give it 100%. Whatever you are doing, make sure you are putting in 100% effort. It means R, respect everybody. So whoever you are encountering, make sure you are treating them with respect. Make sure you are speaking respectfully and make sure you are being considerate of others in everything that you do. E stands for engage positively, A stands for arrive on time, and then T, the most important one I think, is to take responsibility. I'm really passionate about instilling in my students a sense of self-responsibility and accountability. I don't expect them to be perfect because of course nobody is perfect, but what I do expect them to do is take responsibility for their choices and take responsibility for being their best. So, if you have made a mistake, it's about holding up your hands, apologising, making amends, and then moving forwards with a really positive lesson learned. And I have to say how proud I am to see my students around the school in their different lessons and participating in different activities and being so genuinely great. I really do see so much potential in my students, as I say, to go on to the top universities, to go on to amazing careers and live really brilliant lives. And I think one example from last week actually that really encapsulated this was the first aid training day that the students had. So each of the 7 form groups in my year group had a training session during one of their lessons, so it was about 50 minutes long, with the London Ambulance Service, and they were teaching them those essential first aid skills. So as I say, each form group had a session in the main school hall over the course of the day. And at the end of the day, I received this really brilliant message actually, which I've printed off and I now keep on my desk, from one of the staff that supervised the day. So they sent a message saying, "Hi all, just wanted to give all of Year 8s a shout out on how amazing each form has been. Lead Chair of Governors and one of the paramedics came over to tell me that out of all the schools they have been to, feedback from the whole of his team was that engagement and behaviour had been the best by far. It was a lovely day, really great atmosphere, and they should all be really proud of themselves." And I, cannot tell you how proud I was. I mean, I was with one of the classes during their session with AR, who I usually teach RS at that time. And I cannot tell you, I was such a proud parent seeing them in there in the training session. I was running around, taking photos and bursting with pride at how positively they were engaging. They had impeccable manners towards the leaders who were delivering the training. They were engaging so well, they were supporting each other, and as I say, I really did feel like such a proud parent. I was bursting with pride, taking all of these pictures like a parent at sports day or at an awards evening, and I just thought to myself how lucky I am and how proud I am that these students are my year group. And again, it makes me even more determined that they will have the best experience in education and they will go on to become the very best versions of themselves. And I thought, as I say, this encapsulates for me what the job is all about. I stand there in assembly and I say to my students, we are going to be the best cohort in the country. We are going to be the leaders. We are going to be the very best of the best. And then to actually see that in writing from somebody who has witnessed them being the best of the best really makes me very happy, very proud. And as I say, it reminds me of just what a privilege this role is. To read that out of all of the schools they have been to, that the feedback was that they were the best students they've trained. I mean, it doesn't get better than that for me. So yes, I was very proud about that, bursting with pride, feeling like a parent. And I really have been feeling like a parent over these past few months. I think with a pastoral role like this, you really do get the privilege of getting to know your students and to really build a positive relationship. I mean, as a class teacher, it is of course essential that you are building those positive relationships with your students. But I think when you then do have the privilege of taking on a pastoral role, whether that is a form tutor or a head of year, for example, you again get to strengthen those really positive relationships. And I feel like I've really learned a lot actually about my students, about their backgrounds, about what motivates them, about who they are. And that has been very rewarding, because I think when you really get to know your students, when you talk to them, when you listen to them, and when you just have those nice conversations with them, that puts you in a brilliant position in terms of then getting the best out of them. I feel like I'm really starting to get to know my students, and that's not just about knowing their names and knowing what grades that they're working at, but it's really getting to know who they are, what they're interested in, what their fears are, what barriers there might be to them achieving in school, and then really making it my mission, along with my team of course, to help them and to support them. Very much, I think, like a parent. And I've been saying that to my students, I am going to hold you to high standards. There are going to be times when I'm going to annoy you because I am nagging you to do certain things. But the reason for that is because I care. It's because I want you to become your best. You know, I see your potential. I see what you're capable of. And so I am making it my mission to hold you to account, to inspire you, to motivate you, and get the very best out of you. And it really is such a privilege. You know, parents, carers send their students into school, send their children even into school, apologies. And then when they are your student, I feel you have this responsibility and this real privilege to get the best out of them and to make sure that every single student is seen, they are supported, and then they are helped in terms of removing barriers to their success and then championing them. You know, I feel like such a champion for my students, and it is such a rewarding thing to do, to be in this role and to have this opportunity to make a difference and to, you know, help to unlock their potentials and get them that brilliant, brilliant future that they deserve. And I'm aware that was very, very bad English. I do apologise, but in my defence, it is a Friday and I am ready for sleep. But hopefully this has conveyed to you what a privilege this role has been, and it continues to be. And I am so excited, not only about the months ahead, but also about the years ahead. And as I say, helping my students, championing my students to become their very best and fulfill their full potentials. And I really look forward, actually, as they get older in the school, to see them taking on those leadership roles within the school. And it's really great actually to have this particular year group, because last year I was a form tutor to one of the forms in the year group, if that makes sense. So 7B were my form. And so there's something really, really amazing, I think, about the fact that I will have known those students since their very first day of year 7, and then I will be the one taking them through all the way to the end of year 11. And I don't know, there's something really quite special about that in terms of building those relationships and then supporting those students to achieve great things. So yes, that's where we're up to. I'm very much ready for a nice relaxing holiday, I won't lie to you, but then I actually am feeling quite excited about coming back, which is nice, isn't it? It's nice to think, actually, I can enjoy my holiday, but then I'm looking forward to being back in school as well, because when we return, I'm already planning how we're going to reintroduce our high standards to students and remind them that they are here to choose greatness and that we have these high expectations of them because we have high aspirations for them, and that I look forward to hearing from them in 20 years' time when they're on the private yacht, when they are a leader in business, when they've got an amazing degree and they're really happy in their lives. But of course, you know, and this is the final thing I'll say, by the way, before I keep rambling on all day, it's not just about their academic education, is it? And I think this is one of the great things about being ahead of year. It's not just about their academic education and getting them exam results. And of course they are important, but they're not the be all and end all. In this role, you really get to see the opportunity for character curriculum and the development of your students into young people and then young adults who can go out into the world and live really successful lives. And so I really do quite enjoy all of that work on character development. I mean, I went to a Catholic school myself and absolutely loved it. And one of the things I loved about it was the focus on values. And it was that focus on becoming a respectful person and a good human being. And so there's a lot of work that I have already started, but I'm really, really keen to develop in the months ahead on that character curriculum and the development of those virtues within my students, so that they can become well-rounded and grounded young people who go out into the world and make a really positive difference in society. So yes, thank you for joining me for today's video. I hope I've not been too incoherent despite my tiredness. The green tea is getting me through today. And please let me know in the comments if you've got any questions about my role as a head of year, any of your own anecdotes about teaching or your own stories of favourite teachers. You know, I always say I wouldn't be where I am today without the teachers I had at school who inspired and supported me. And so it is a privilege to now be able to pay that forward forwards and to follow in their footsteps, if you like, in this role that I am very privileged to be in today. But yes, that is it from me today. I'm off to enjoy the holidays. I hope you are having a great start to 2024, whatever it is that you're up to. And, you know, please remember, work hard, believe in yourself, and you will achieve great things. We've got one lifetime on this planet. Let's make the most of it. Let's fulfill our full potentials and achieve really great things. Thank you for joining me, and take care. Bye-bye.